So, did the Yankees actually do something right in analytics? I think they did, and a big name finally signs and is off the board. Let's get into it right now. Hey, gang, hope you're doing well. So, for those that know, the Yankees kicked butt yesterday in their debut in their game one of the spring, 22-10 over the Detroit Tigers. A lot of good highlights, a lot of good performances, and so on. So, and none of their starters were in the game. So they've got a double whammy today. They've got a split squad. One game against the Blue Jays, one game against the Phillies. Carlos Rodon starting one, Marcus Stroman starting another. And today's the highly anticipated debut of Juan Soto as the New York Yankee too. His partner in crime, Trent Grisham, was in the game yesterday. He went deep with a 3-run home run. So did Yorpid Vivas, who could potentially be Gleyber Torres' replacement if he doesn't come back after 2024 in the infield. So did Luis Torres, and so did Yankees' #1 prospect, Spencer Jones. He hit one out of the county, 470 feet mammoth shot yesterday. But let's trade him for Dylan Cease or 1-year Corbin Burns. So the Yankees win 22-10. So a lot of good to look forward to. And again, it's the first game of spring, so take it with a grain of salt. But it's always nice to get off to a good start. So, but what did the Yankees do right? I don't know if any of you notice. And obviously, these two guys have voiced their opinions about our two leaders, Garrett Cole and Aaron Judge, about analytics and the inability for them to disseminate the information that they get above, which is valuable information, down to the clubhouse, down to the team, the players, and the coaches. The inability to communicate it with any type of competence, right? So it's just Mike Fishman and the dweebs over there and so on and so forth. So what do? They bring in this guy. Okay, you know what this is? Anybody? Aaron Solomon. Okay, not Aaron Solomon, excuse me. Aaron Leinart. Okay, if you look at my thumbnail, Lionheart, that's Joshua from the movie Lionheart. He's like, Lionheart! Well, this guy's last name is Lionheart. So I just kind of pizzazzed that up a little bit. Why does it matter? Well, this guy isn't a nerd like the rest of them. He's actually a genius. He was actually teaching as a physics professor at the University of Michigan the last 5 years, and he has a doctorate from MIT. But he's also been in the Yankees organization for the last 2 years as assistant hitting coordinator. So he has baseball ties. So imagine that. The nerds with a personality who can actually get information. He's going to be in the dugout now with Aaron Boone, with Brad Ausmus, with the rest of the gang. Okay? Think of Revenge of the Nerds. Louis Skolnick and Gilbert Lowe and Poindexter, Lamar Latrell, Wormser, and Booger, right? Nerds with personalities that you actually fall in love with. They actually beat the jocks, the alpha betas at Adams College, right? That's what this is. They brought in a nerd, elevated him to the top now, who's got personality, who can actually communicate the information to the players so they can understand it, and the coaches so they can understand it. And it's got the full buy-in from Aaron Judge and from Garrett Cole. So this is a big one. Finally, looks like they've done something right in analytics. So I give them full credit for that. Okay? And congratulations, great job. I really hope that it pans out the way we think it can. So, and again, it's little stuff like this that matters, that makes a difference, that isn't being talked about by any of the beat writers, by anybody else. That matters. Which is why I want you to know all the details. Right? I don't only want you to know the frosting of the cake. I want you to know the cake. All right? This is why I talk about stuff like this. So if you're not subbed to this channel for whatever reason, please do. Don't miss out on other stuff. Okay? And hit the notification button. That makes sure that you're in the front of the line when news comes in. And when I go live, you know exactly when I go live. When I go live, now I'm going to be going live after every game. So I'll be live this afternoon. They're both 105 games, so it'll probably be around 4 o'clock or something like that. Okay? And we'll recap both of the games. All right? Which would be a lot of fun. So, and I thank you for that. I really, really do. Thank you so much for your support. And hopefully you enjoy everything that we do on this channel. But now, the other piece of news. One of the bats off the board, Mr. Cody Bellinger. According to Jeff Passan and ESPN, and it's now corroborated by MLBTradeRumors.com too, he's going back to the Chicago Cubs on a 3-year, $80 million deal. So not what he wanted, not the ridiculous counter ask or not ridiculous initial ask by Scott Boras, but he's going back to the team he was great with last year. Okay. And again, we kind of knew this was going to happen. Okay. And Scott Boras kind of rides his clients out to the end of the offseason and even into spring training sometimes. And he still has 4 other guys. Okay. Blake Snell, Jordan Montgomery, JD Martinez, Matt Chapman. They're still unsigned. If I'm him, I'm getting these pitchers signed now. They need to ramp up. Their ramp up is different than offensive players. So, but one of those guys is off the board now. Cody Bellinger. He was one of the most highly anticipated free agents. And he was kind of predicted a lot of different places, but he's going back to the Cubs. And it makes a lot of sense. They're bringing back their guy. And they still need other pieces to compete in NL Central, but they brought back the guy that was pretty magical for them last year. 3-year deal. They had to settle for a shorter deal. The AAV is pretty good, about 26, just under 27 million per year. That's pretty good money for Cody Bellinger, and who's kind of coming back to almost his MVP self again. Hopefully, he'll continue to do that. So, one of the big names is off the board finally. Okay, let me know what your thoughts are. Where did you think he was going to go? Do you think the contract is good? I think it's good. 3 years, 80 million for that guy. Heck yeah. I do think some of the other Boras clients are going to have to settle for short-term deals too. Monty, probably Snell, probably Chapman. JD's probably not going to get a long-term deal anyway. He's a little bit older. So, and for those that don't know, he actually had an offer from the San Francisco Giants that he rejected. Okay, and then they pivoted and signed Jorge Soler, who's younger than JD Martinez as well. So, but that's what I have for you right now. Yankees make a pretty good, pretty bold, pretty smart move in analytics, and hopefully it pans out for them. But someone who can actually communicate the complex stuff in analytics down to the coaches and the players in a way they can actually understand, in a way that's applicable to them, so they can actually communicate it to each other or whatever and utilize it. Because you have thoughtful players like Garrett Cole. He's a thoughtful pitcher. He kind of has like Greg Maddux in him, where he thinks about stuff. He wants to know what he's talking about, wants to know what he's doing, right? And then you have guys who are vocal leaders now, like Aaron Judge, which is fantastic as well. And they want these guys to be able to benefit from this information. They hire all these people, but they never had the ability to communicate this information to the dugout. And that was ridiculous. Well, maybe they needed to go through that to figure this out. Well, maybe they have it figured out now. And again, this man right here, Aaron Leinart, okay? Like again, the thumbnail, Lionheart. Lionheart's a martial arts movie by Jean-Claude Van Damme. And that's the guy Joshua in the thumbnail. It's Lionheart! So, kind of want to pizzazz it up a little bit because the Yankees actually did something right in something that's probably the most unsexy thing in the world, analytics, right? So, let me know what your thoughts are, gang. Have a great day. Hopefully, I'll talk to you later in the live stream. Over now.